Okay, if you've been paying attention, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I just completed the mod for the CNC Fusion kit, the CNC modification. And I did all the mechanicals, and so we're ready to do the electrical. And the first thing I want to do is I want to open this box and I want to see what's available to me in here, because of course I need to get power from someplace for the electronics. I mean by power is AC power. I need to, here's the plug right here. That was the mill. I'd like to make everything all inclusive here. In other words, I don't care for separate boxes, but I'll probably end up with a separate box anyway. So this is what we got in here. And here's the AC. There's the control card, speed control for the motor. Not a lot of room in here for anything. I mean, you know, that's one motor driver, so ain't no way you're gonna get it in here, but there is space below here on the column. One thing at a time. I know I can get AC power right here, and I might even be able to put an outlet on the back of this cover, on the back cover here, that I can plug stuff into, and then I'll work from there. Where's my ruler? I have a ruler here. Come on, where is it? Tape measure. Let's see how much space I got down in this area. I don't know where my tape measure is. All right, we got it. So, got about 10 inches. 10 inches. And I know that Home Depot sells a NEMA Class 1 box. About 30 bucks. It's 10 inch by 10. 10 by 10, right? Yeah, 10 by 10. So it'll be out here somewhere. And about 4 inches deep. It's about as it's about an inch deeper than this box, so it'll stick out about an inch more. And it'll be 10 by 10 up under here. Trust me, it's 10 inches. 10. Just fits. And we can get power to that box through here, so we're only going to use one plug. And the power supply for the stepper motors, which is a 36 volt power supply. I forgot what that is. It's about 9 inches, somewhere in that area. 9 by 3 by something. It fits within the box. Don't know how many of these things I'm going to be able to do. These are well, they'll fit inside the box, but how many I can get in there, I don't know. I'm going to need 4 because I am going to eventually have an A-axis. This is going to be 5-axis, not 3. Or it's going to be 4-axis, I'm sorry. Alright, so anyway, I wanted to take a look. I'm just scoping it out, doing some planning here until we get the real thing going. The real install going, the electrical install. Okay, this is what I picked up at Home Depot. This is the 36 volt power supply in here. This box is like 10 by 10 by actually 4 5/8, so it's more than 4 inches deep. And these are my four motor drivers, and that's really beyond the 5-axis controller card, which I don't have right now. I just placed it on order. That'll go in here somewhere. It's got the printer port on it, connect up to the computer. Beyond that, the box should have everything it needs. All I need in addition is 5 volts. Beyond the 36, you need 5 volts, but I'll get that either through a wall wart, or I can just get it from the computer through the USB. So this is the box. Cost about 30 bucks from Home Depot. Alright, and this is where the box is going to go. Right up under here. And like I said, we're going to run the AC into this box first, and then up to where it used to go, to the motor controller. I got a lot of drilling to do, so see you later. I forgot to mention, by the way, in order to get that box in, I had to take the spring and the other hardware that attached to this, the arm and the hardware. I had to take all that off. I'm looking for the arm. I don't even know where the arm is right now, but here it is, like this. Not hard to get off, but if you need to, you'll figure it out. The only thing that was a little tricky on this was this collar. There are 3 screws that hold this collar on, so you have to get everything out just to get at the 3 screws to get it off the column. And the reason I had to take that off, by the way, is because this thing overhang like this. It overhung the column, and it interfered with the box, the new box that's going to go on. So I put some of the hardware back on because it doesn't interfere with the box, and so that I don't lose it. Now the only other thing I'll tell you about, you probably figured it out yourself anyway. See, this thing slides in and out like this. There's a collar on the back side here, and the only thing holding that on is a set screw. So you take the set screw off, and all of this slides out of here. So that's it. I mean, I had to take that off just to get the box in there. Cutting out the outlets on the top panel of my router. So I've cut aluminum, plastics, aluminum, plywood on this router, but this is the first time I've cut an aluminum panel that's about a 6-inch, not aluminum, it's steel. First time I cut a steel panel, and I indeed made one big mistake. I learned when cutting aluminum that the bit you use, the smaller the bit, the less the mess. And so what I did with this panel was, when I designed the cutouts in CAD, actually in Cut 2D, I designed them to use a 16th-inch bit, and it worked. The only problem is I used about 7 bits up to this point, mostly because bits broke. They wear out. They just, lose their, here's a piece of bit right here. Here's one that walked off the material. You see that? It broke and then it walked off the material, and that's where I caught it. And I luckily hit the reset button. But if you're going to cut steel, it would behoove you to use a very, very, very low feed rate, which I am right now. It's about 1.5 inches per minute. And use a larger bit, even though it cuts more material and it makes a mess, it leaves more debris. I wish I had started this with an 1/8 inch bit, because an 1/8 inch bit is stiffer, won't break as often, and it'll give you clear, clean edges. It won't give you that. It walks off. So anyway, I'll get through this. Not a big deal, but just wanted to make a couple of comments about that. These two are for outlets. This is for a fan. That's what I'm cutting here. Fan input, 3-inch fan, muffin fan, and 2 outlets. And if I'm shouting, it's because it's loud where I am. Hopefully, my audio won't be distorted. Okay, this is where I am with the box. I got the card in. You can see the Swiss cheese. This is the back of the box. A lot of holes drilled. Most of them have to be countersunk because this thing will be mounted on the rear column. And there's the 5-axis controller, which is in there right now. You see the connector coming through. And these will mount here, a little space between them. I'm not going to hard mount anything until I get all the holes, everything I can think of, all the holes drilled in this panel, because I don't want any metal shavings, banging around inside there. You know what, I'm looking for my power supply goes in here, and I don't know where it is. Probably in the garage. Wait one. Okay, that's where it was in the garage. So the power supply mounts in here. These 4 guys mount this way, thusly, and 5-axis controller. I'll get it all wired up. Right down the center line here, I'm going to put a couple of holes in here, of course, on the drill press, and then I'm going to go out to the column in the garage, the column on the mill, and I'm going to drill and tap 2 1/4-20 holes. And that's how I'll mount this box, with 2 1/4-20 holes. One other thing that's going to go in here, I haven't put the hole in here yet, but right down in here between these 2 guys is going to be an AC on-off switch, a toggle. And that's how I'm going to turn everything on in here. And of course, this other end, the back side of this thing, the column goes in here like this, behind here, like my arm is here, on the bottom of this thing. So the switch will be accessible to me from the front side. Actually the back of this, but the front of the mill. And that's where I am now. I'm just continue on. Just a few more holes. And I should be able to mount this thing. This power supply out of here. By the way, all these power supplies, they're pretty much the same. They all come from China. I got another one over here. I use in my CNC. Yeah, I use it in my CNC laser machine. That one is 24. This is a 36, but you can see they're pretty much all packaged the same way, and they all come from China. And most of them on eBay are labeled LED power supplies. I guess people use them for LED strips and stuff like that. But I just wanted to mention the screws for these things are M4s. There's 4 mounting screws here on the bottom. They're metric and they're M4. And that's it. Now I got to go off and drill a couple more holes here. I'm going to drill small holes so that I can mark them accurately with a Sharpie. I'll just poke them on the when this thing is up on the column, and then I'll drill the 2 holes in the column first and then tap them and for quarter 20. By the way, whenever I do tapping, I saw at least a couple of guys on the internet now. It makes me cringe. If you want to tap, especially into a cast column like that, you better step up to the size you want. Start out small, use at least 3 or 4 different drill bits to get up to the size you want, because you're just asking for trouble. The drill bit's going to walk all over the place. It's not going to be where you want it to be, and it's going to be very hard to control, and you're going to be you're not going to be going straight into the hole with the drill bit. It's going to be walking around on you, and that's going to enlarge the hole and make it harder to tap. Sometimes you can't even tap it after that because the hole will be just too big. If you know what I'm talking about, the drill bit will be wobbling in the hole because you're pressing on it very hard to get it, to cut metal. But if you had drilled smaller holes before that, the drill bit, this final drill bit, when you're going to tap into, that has a dimension of the hole that you want to tap into, that will naturally follow the hole that was put there before it. So there won't be any wobbling, or there'll be a minimal amount of wobbling and stuff like that, and you won't have any oblong holes to deal with when you're trying to tap it. All right, that's enough for now. Okay, I'm getting ready to mark the column here. And what I did was I put a line here and a line here that lines up to this box so that each end was equidistant from the end here, so that I know it's pretty much centered. And the hardest part here is holding this thing in place. When I mark the 2 dots, I'll mark the holes. And here's one. And where the frickin' hell is the other one? I should have clamped this. That's one. There. There. The one on top doesn't even show. Which means the hole's probably not big enough that I drilled here. Well, you get the idea. When I get this all straightened out, I'll be back. Okay, the clamps I just put on made it a little easier. And I got the 2 holes I'm going to mark right now. This should keep me pretty much lined up. Okay, I got a mark on both of them. Make sure the one on top before I didn't get a mark on it before. Make sure I get a mark on it. I think I do. Okay, got a mark Now I got a lot of drilling to do here. Drill a couple pilot holes. Like I said, I step up to the drill bit I need to tap it out. It's going to be 1/4 I'm probably going to use about 4 bits to do that. And you don't need to be watching me drill holes, so I'm going to shut it down. Well, maybe for some of you guys, maybe you should be watching me. If you don't have one of these, go off to Harbor Freight and get one. It's an impact center punch. And what's nice about it is you don't have to use a hammer. You just line it up, get it right in the center of the mark, and push. Push a few times. So you get a nice dimple in there. And that's going to get you started. And I got drill bit set here. I'll start out with something small, 1/16 of an inch, maybe a little larger than a 1/16 of an inch, just to get started. And let me see. And this is really the part you don't need to be watching. Just boring, just me drilling holes. Okay, I'm down to the last drill. I've already drilled. This is the final size of the hole. I just wanted to show you this is a tap and die set I bought a long time ago. Bought it from Sears. I don't know if they still have it, 52068. Well, what's nice about it is it gives you undersized drills. This is a number 7 for a 1/4, which I've already used. And it's got a 1/4 tap here. And I've used this hundreds and hundreds of times already, and it just never seems to wear out. Probably bought it maybe 20 years ago. All right, I'm just going to tap these holes out and fit some bolts in there, and we're going to move on. Okay, got it in. That's what it's going to look like. Nice and sturdy. Switch is going to be on the back side here, right here, right around here somewhere. I don't know if you can see what I'm looking at. And looking good. All right, let's see. I'll probably start wiring the box up. Well, I need to put one more hole in there for the on-off switch, and then I'll start wiring it up.